Welcome to News Briefs. Today is Tuesday, June 3, 2025.
We've got quite a mix today, looking at some pretty intense domestic news and also what's happening globally.
Yeah, definitely. Let's start with something quite serious that happened in Boulder, Colorado.
Right, the attack on that pro-Israel rally, Sunday, June 2nd.
Terrible situation. Reports say a man used an improvised flamethrower.
That's right, 12 people injured.
Yeah.
And really tragically, one of the victims was a Holocaust survivor.
Just awful. What do we know about the suspect?
Well, the details emerging point to a man named Mohammed Zachary Solomon, 45, an Egyptian immigrant.
And he confessed?
He did. According to the report, said he planned it for a year, waited until his daughter finished school.
A year. Wow, and his motive?
He apparently expressed hatred for the group, called them a Zionist group, said he wanted them dead. It seems he couldn't buy guns because of his immigration status.
But he found other means.
Yeah, investigators found 16 Molotov cocktails near where he was arrested, things he'd looked up how to make online.
16. That's chilling. He's facing a lot of charges, right?
Over 40, including hate crimes. Bail's set at $10 million.
And the political angle.
Well, President Trump weighed in pretty quickly, links the attacker's entry to, quote, Biden's ridiculous open border policy.
It really underscores how these, global tensions are playing out domestically. And it comes at a time when the ADL says anti-Semitic incidents are way up.
Yeah, like 893% over 10 years. It's a staggering number.
Okay, sticking with immigration, but shifting focus a bit.
Yeah.
There's news about IC tactics.
Yes, some internal documents have surfaced. They show new instructions for ICE agents to rapidly apprehend immigrants.
Rapidly apprehend. What does that mean in practice?
It means going after people even if their cases were dismissed or if they're in proceedings but weren't previously detained.
So a wider net, essentially.
Seems like it. And part of the instruction is to coordinate directly with court personnel to conduct arrests in courthouses.
Arrests inside courthouses. That sounds controversial.
It is. And there's a human story highlighted here. Pastor Murillo Ambrosio, Guatemalan. Been in the U.S. for 20 years, father of 5. What happened to him? He was detained by ICE in Tampa just after his regular sort of annual check-in appointment.
After 20 years, does he have a criminal record?
He says no, quoted as saying, I don't have a criminal record, and I feel very sad. His daughter, Ashley, who's 19, is now trying to hold the family together. He did get a court date quickly, though, within a week.
But the courthouse arrests are causing pushback.
Definitely. Protests happening across the country.
Yeah.
Activists are really critical, talking about dismissing cases without due process. And there are images circulating, children, mothers, being handcuffed.
And that must create a climate of fear.
Well, one reported consequence is fewer people are actually showing up for court in person. More are opting for video hearings if they can.
And we also saw reports ICE made almost 1,500 arrests just in Massachusetts in May, focused on gangs.
That's right. And separately, Marco Rubio is apparently involved in trying to get a Venezuelan migrant returned, someone deported by mistake, to El Salvador.
Lots happening on the immigration front and some other related legal challenges, too.
Yeah, briefly, a former DHS official, Miles Taylor, wants an investigation into an order targeting him, feels it's suppressing dissent. And federal judges have put temporary holds on a couple of DHS actions, one related to TSA union rights, another blocking deportations of some Venezuelans under the Alien Enemies Act, citing process issues.
So a real picture of tension between enforcement and legal or public resistance. Okay, let's pivot to the economy. What's the headline there?
Well, the main thing is the U.S. economy actually shrank slightly in the first quarter of 2025, a 0.2% annual rate decline.
Shrank. That's the first time in a while, isn't it?
First time in 3 years, yeah. Reports are linking it, partly at least, to the ongoing trade disputes under President Trump, saying they've disrupted business.
And what's the forecast looking like?
Not exactly rosy. The OECD projects growth slowing down more this year, maybe 1.6%. And, inflation.
Inflation's a big worry, right?
It is. Expected to, quote, skyrocket by mid-2025. Could hit maybe 3.9% by the end of the year.
And what's driving that, according to the analysis?
Primarily tariffs. The effective tariff rate is now apparently 15.4%. That's the highest it's been since 1938. And that cost gets passed on.
To consumers, basically. Us.
Exactly. Also, on the economic front, but tied to tech, seeing AI's huge energy needs are driving companies like Meta and Google to lock in long-term deals for nuclear power.
Interesting intersection. Okay, moving on to science and medicine.
Yeah, some new research on alpha-gal syndrome. That's the red meat allergy you get from tick bites.
Right. usually linked to the Lone Star tick.
Well, that's the news. This study found 2 other ticks. The western black-legged tick and the deer tick can also trigger it. So it expands the potential risk areas.
But doctors might not know this yet.
That's the concern mentioned, yeah. Awareness among healthcare providers is still kind of low.
Good to know. Anything else in health?
There's a study out of Matter Neuroscience in Stanford using real-time fMRI neurofeedback to treat depression,
Yeah.
trying to find non-drug therapies.
Fascinating. Using brain scans to treat depression directly. Okay, shifting to culture and society.
A significant first at NBC News. Tom Lamas became the first Hispanic anchor of NBC Nightly News.
That is a big deal.
Yeah, described as a major achievement, especially as the son of Cuban refugees. He said he hopes it shows other Hispanic kids, that they can achieve that too.
Great story. And something more dramatic, globally.
Mount Etna erupted again in Sicily, Europe's most active volcano. Reports describe huge plumes of smoke, enormous fumaroles, and tourists scrambling to get away.
Wow, always impressive, Etna. All right, let's wrap up with some sports highlights. What's happening?
NBA Finals are set. It's the Indiana Pacers against the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Okay. And the interesting angle there.
Both teams led by, well, relatively new stars who weren't top lottery picks. So maybe a sign of shifting power dynamics in the league.
Could be. What else?
UFC 316 is this weekend, June 7th. Got Merab Dvalishvili fighting Sean O'Malley for the men's bantamweight title, and Juliana Pena versus Kayla Harrison for the women's bantamweight belt.
Big fights. Formula One.
Yeah, Nico Hulkenberg got Sauber their first points, actually their first top 5 finish since 2022. P5 at the Spanish Grand Prix. Apparently car upgrades helped.
Good for them. And boxing.
The Navarrete-Suarez fight ended weirdly. Ruled a no contest. Replay showed a cut was caused by a clean punch, not a headbutt or anything. So the WBO ordered a rematch.
Ah, clarity from the replay. Okay, quite a range of news today.
Yeah, from, really serious domestic issues tied to global events to economic pressures, scientific updates, and sports. It's a complex picture out there.
It really is. Makes you think about how all these different threads might be connected in ways we don't even realize yet.
Until next time.